Hi folks, Glyn here, back with another episode for you. This will be episode 78, but this time, rather than listening to my voice, I'm going to pass you over to a really good friend of mine called John G. Moore, who's a photographer based up in Glasgow in Scotland. Now John, we're up here doing some filming together, and there's a certain image that he showed me, this stunning black and white image, but there's an effect that he created on the sky that I've managed to convince him to record a short video so that you can see exactly what it is and how he actually goes through the process. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to pass you over to John so he can take you through it.
Hi there folks, I'm sitting here with Glyn who has my arm fully twisted up my back so that I'll share one of my post-processing techniques with you. I've been using it for a few years and it's become really handy when I want to add a wee bit of added drama or interest to an image. It's actually a really simple technique carried out in Photoshop to mimic the effect of cloud movement in a long exposure shot. I guess I would call it a full long exposure technique. I've always assumed that most people would be aware of it, but when Glyn saw it, he thought it was really cool and that I should share it with you. So hopefully some of you will find it of interest. Okay, so let's get started. To save time, I've already converted this image to black and white in Lightroom using one of my black and white classic presets. I won't go into detail about that in this tutorial, but I plan to share more information on my black and white processing techniques soon on my new YouTube channel. So let's go through the steps required to process the image. The first thing we're going to do is edit the image in Photoshop. The next stage is duplicating the layer so we can work non-destructively. Step 3 involves selecting the sky only in the image. To do that, we use the quick selection tool by clicking and dragging it over the sky. I'm sure most of you are already conversant with that, so to save time, I'll skip forward to the next stage. So, as you can see, I've now selected the sky from the top of the image down to the horizon line where it meets the mountains. Now, in this instance, I actually want a little breathing space between the top of the mountains and the sky to gently blend in the effect that we're going to create. To do that, we have to transform the selection, and the way to do that is by choosing Select, Transform Selection. When you do that, you'll notice grab handles appear. What we want to do is grab the bottom and move it up a wee bit just to give us some breathing space. That should do nicely in this case. So what we want to do next is press Enter to commit the transformation we have made to the selection. The next stage is to further the transformation to achieve a blended graduation from the original sky to the affected sky we are about to create. I have the dialog box set to 10 and that should do nicely in this instance. Right, now we are actually going to apply the effect. What we are trying to achieve is a similar look to clouds moving towards and above our heads from the horizon. To do so, we're going to use the radial blur filter as I find it's the best tool to mimic the effect realistically. To do that, we need to go to Filter, Blur, Radial Blur. Now, when the radial blur filter dialog appears, we need to choose our preferred settings. We need to choose Zoom as the blur method and Best in the quality section. The amount of blur you desire is a personal choice, but I find I limit the amount to between 10 to 20 pixels as I find that adequate to my tastes. I don't really like things to be over the top, and those settings keep it subtle but realistic. Now, the most important setting is the blur centre point. Remember that we are trying to emulate clouds moving from the horizon towards us, and to do so we need to emulate that perspective. So, to do that, drag the centre point to the bottom of the box. Now we are in a position to commit the effect, and then deselect the area we had chosen previously. Now we'll give a comparison between before and after, and before and after. If you find this technique useful and you use it yourselves, be sure to tag me in any images you post online via social media so I can check them out. I hope you found the tutorial useful. If you're interested in finding out more about my black and white processing techniques, please check out the new YouTube channel for weekly updates on my website at johngmoore.com. Thanks for watching. Cheers.